Hi everyone, welcome to this summary video. Today we are looking at electrical system for P5 Foundation Science. Now as always, for every summary video you are supposed to create a concept map while watching the video. So today's summary video is about electrical system, and there are altogether 5 different concepts that you need to take note. First, what is electricity? Next, electric circuit. Then after that we'll talk about the factors affecting the brightness of a bulb. Then after that, we'll talk about conductors and insulators, and finally, we'll end off with circuit diagrams. Okay, so make sure you have all these 5 concepts and the details, information, and examples all written down in your concept map. And just to recap again, how do you know that you are successful when doing the concept map? 2 components, information, presentation. You must have all the information that I'm presenting in this video into your concept map. If you can have additional information that is related to the topic, that would be great. Presentation, the information, your concept map must be presented clearly and neatly. If you can use colors, have meaningful pictures, that would be great. So let's go. First, what is electricity? Well, basically, electricity is a form of energy. Okay, and we obtain electricity from mainly 2 forms, power stations as well as batteries. Okay, and the picture that you see over there, it's a power station. And basically power station, they use coal, they burn coals or other fuels to generate a lot of heat, and that heat will in turn boil a lot of water, and that will help to generate electricity. Okay, so basically they use coal to generate electricity. Now there are other sources of how we get electricity, like solar panels, using wind. Okay, so those are alternative sources, but more or less we obtain electricity from there. Now, what is an electric circuit? So, electric circuit is a path. It's a way for electricity to flow. Okay, so electricity needs a path. They need some place to go. Just like your train. Your train needs a train track in order for it to go. If there's a gap in the train track, the train cannot go. Same with electricity. And so, a simple electric circuit is made up of these 3 things that you see there: battery, bulbs, as well as switches and wires. So, these 4 things make up a simple electric circuit. So let's go into each of them in detail. First, let's talk about a battery. So a battery has 2 terminals or ends, depending on how you want to call it. So we have the positive terminal and then the negative terminal. So if you look at those batteries there, each of them have both a positive and a negative. So now both ends must be connected to wires or to the bulb in order for electricity to flow through. So there must be a loop, a path for the electricity to flow out from the battery. So all the energy is stored in the battery. Okay. Now a bulb, basically a bulb is something that lights up and is made up of these different parts, and these parts you must know. Okay, so they have firstly the filament. So I've got my filament. So this filament is the part that glows. So later I'll talk a little bit more about the filament. I've got my glass bulb, and I mentioned before in class, the reason why it's made out of glass is because it's transparent, so light can come out. Then you have your wires, because it needs to bring electricity to your your filament. Then your metal casing, and finally your metal tip. So these are the different parts of a bulb which you must know. Okay. Now it's basically a bulb will light up when the metal tip, so this part here, okay, the metal tip, the one at the bottom of the bulb, and the metal casing, the one at the side, are correctly connected to the wires and the battery. So there must be a battery because there must be a power source. Then the wires are the path in which the electricity will flow. So when one is connected to the casing, one is connected to the tip, then the bulb will light up. If you connect it wrongly, the bulb doesn't light up. Now a filament, basically what a filament does, it glows and gives off light when electricity flows through. But if there's too much electricity going through, the filament will get too hot and it will melt. So like what you see in this picture. So once it melts, it actually breaks. We call it the bulb has fused, and the bulb will never light up again. Then you need to change to a new bulb. Okay? So what is closed and open circuit? So basically a closed circuit has no gaps, and because of that, electricity can flow through. So you see here, this picture, there's no gap, so my electricity can start from the battery, down into the bulb, down into the next bulb, and then flow back in again into the battery. So when there's a complete path, we call it a closed circuit. Electricity can flow through, the bulb will light up. Now, an open circuit is where there's a gap. So you see here, whoops, now I have, where's my cursor? So now I have a gap here. So you see this gap here? So once there's a gap, electricity cannot flow through. It's just like your train, where there's a hole in the middle of the track, your train cannot go through, your train cannot fly over the hole. So same thing, electricity cannot fly through the air. So it needs a path. So open circuit has gaps, electricity cannot flow through. So what are the factors affecting the brightness of a bulb? So we've done the experiment and we've realized that when there are more batteries connected in series means one after the other, the brightness of the bulb increases. So when you have 2 batteries, it becomes brighter. Compared to 3 batteries, the bulb gets even brighter. But please be careful. We learned just now that when there's too much electricity, the bulb actually fuses. So you cannot have like 10 batteries, or depending on how strong your bulb is. Okay, so just remember, the more batteries connected in series, the brightness of the bulb will increase. The more brighter the bulb becomes. Now, but if I have more bulbs connected in series, one after the other, the brightness of the bulb decreases. So you can imagine it, and we mentioned this in class, you can imagine it as when more batteries, I got more energy, more power. So the bulb has more power, it becomes brighter. But if I have more bulbs, it's just like we now need to share that same amount of energy with so many people. So each bulb then gets very little amount of energy, and that's why each of them are not very bright. Okay? So remember, more batteries, brightness increases. More bulbs, brightness decreases. Very important. Next, let's look at conductors and insulators. Basically, a conductor or electrical conductor allows electricity to flow through. Can you think of some examples? Please write some of these examples down in your concept map. Electrical insulator does not allow electricity to flow through. Again, can you think of some examples? I'm sure you know because we've already done the experiments in class. So, as you write down what an electrical conductor is and what an electrical insulator is, please remember to give me some examples in your concept map. Okay? Finally, circuit diagrams. Now, circuit diagrams is where we use symbols to represent an actual circuit. So instead of drawing the picture of a bulb, instead of drawing a picture of a battery, we use a symbol. Okay, and why do we use a symbol? Maybe there's something you may want to write down in your circuit diagram as well. Sorry, not in your concept map as well. We use symbols to make it easier to draw out these diagrams. Okay, it's easier to draw a symbol compared to drawing the actual bulb or battery. Okay, so different components of a circuit are represented by different symbols. So what are they? So this you must write down in your concept map. So a battery, this is the symbol. 2 batteries, this is the symbol. So it's just basically 2 of that. This symbol. Okay, battery is one straight line, one long, one short line. So 2 batteries is basically 2 of them. Wire is just a straight line, and finally your switch is that you see over there. Okay, and bulb. Sorry, one last one, the bulb. Okay, so circuit diagram. If this is your actual circuit, this is how your circuit diagram can look like. So please take all these down into your concept map. So we've come to the end of this very short summary video. So by this time round, if you look at your concept map, you will have a lot of information regarding what is electricity, electric circuits, the factors affecting the brightness of a bulb, conductor, insulator, as well as circuit diagram. Now, if you can give me more information of more things related to electricity, please do so. Alright, thank you. I'll see you in the next summary video. Bye-bye.